Hello, great people. Thank you for taking the time to join. I wanted to just jump on and just empower you all just for a short, brief moment. I want to speak to you about believing yourself. And the reason why I wanted to share an empowerment moment with you about believing in yourself, we all know that God has already given us a measure of faith. But it's up to us to activate that measure of faith and grow it into the greatness that God has already promised that we can achieve. Believing in yourself is a great way to allow your faith to activate some things in your life so that you can begin to manifest the very dreams and the very vision that God has given you. A lot of times we will get these ideas and we will get these visions, and a lot of times we sit on them because fear has came into our life and occupied those spaces in our life so that we become paralyzed, that we don't move forward into actually making those dreams and that vision become a reality. But I come to empower you. I come to just let you know that you can serve an eviction notice to the fear that occupies the space in your life that's causing you to hold back from actually moving out in action on those visions and dreams. When we sit on these ideas and we sit on these particular inventions, we sit on product that God has literally gave us divine creativity to operate in. This is what happens when we begin to sit on them and we allow the paralyzation of fear to literally immobilize our life from not moving forward to putting those in action. What happens is possibly, what if, let's just say, what if that idea was a multi-billion dollar idea, but you don't see it as a multi-billion dollar idea, but the seed that God put on the inside of you is the manifestation of a multi-billion dollar company. Welcome in, you guys. Thank you for joining. But because it's just an idea. You have an idea of it, you see it. Maybe you even wrote it down. But you don't believe in you enough, and you allow fear to paralyze and immobilize your life that you don't move forward to put it in action, to put this particular multi-billion dollar idea in action. And you're not realizing that there's hundreds of thousands of people's lives that you can change by allowing your company to employ them, and they bring their expertise to your company and help continue to map out and build this multi-billion dollar idea. Using this for an example, what if that idea that you are sitting on, you don't know it yet, but you're just sitting on it, not moving forward, allowing fear to occupy these areas in your life and immobilize you, and you begin to not believe in you. You begin to not believe in yourself. But because you not believing in yourself, it don't give you the fuel and the power to move forward, to break that chain of grip that's on your life of the fear. So now, it begins to play in your mind, and you begin to rehearse that fear over and over again of the what ifs, or what if not this, or what if this happens, or what if this will not happen. But you cannot dwell on the what ifs not will happen. You have to feed the dream and the vision and the idea that you have gotten, that particular idea, and at least launch the idea and begin to pour into the idea and begin to grow the idea, because you never know that this seed that you don't even realize that is a multi-billion-dollar company and product, but you still sitting on it as if it's not a good idea. So being that you have this idea, begin to write it down and begin to pray over the idea. Begin to ask God for wisdom. Begin to ask God for an appropriate plan to put this in alignment, to put it in place, to bring in anybody that has more expertise on certain things that I may not have those expertise in those areas and may not know how to grow or groom certain areas in this vision or in this idea. But I promise you, if you launch the idea, God will send the people. If you create the product, I promise you, God will bring the people. I promise you, if you believe in yourself, if you begin to evict fear with your mustard seed faith, I promise you, if you do it, I promise you, this idea that you're sitting on will be the greatest idea you probably ever launched in your life, that will bring you about the very manifestation that how you envisioned it. But we got to use our faith to evict the fear. You got to believe in you. You got to believe in the vision. You got to believe in the dream that God has given you. You cannot no longer from this day forward sit on the very ideas and products and inventions and things that God has given you, because you never know. It could be the multi-billion-dollar and multi-million-dollar idea, and it could possibly be the multi-million-dollar and billion-dollar manifestation. But how would you know if you don't plant the seed? How would you know if you don't apply the creativity that God has put on the inside of you? How will you know if you don't use your mustard seed faith to evict the fear that's holding you hostage? God said in his word in the book of Genesis around chapter 12 that he said, I will make your name great amongst nations. Can you imagine the great idea that God has given you and you're sitting on it? Could be the very great idea that makes your name great. Could be the great idea that makes your product name great. Can be the great idea that makes your team that God's going to send to you great. How would you know? Of the manifestation of the fruit of the very seed and idea that God has given you if you don't plant the seed. Right, Marcy? If we don't plant the seed, right, Marcy, how are we going to know that belief level that God has given us if we don't plant the seed as small as a mustard seed? We got to plant the idea of the very thing, that the idea that God has given us. But we're sitting on the idea. Believe in yourself. Believe in the very vision that God has given you. Believe in the dream that God has given you. Believe in the product that you see that you need to create, that you saw in your vision, in your line of vision. Don't count it out. That very invention can change lives across the globe. That very invention can make you a history maker. That very invention can make your name great. Just believe in yourself. Use your mustard seed faith, I say it again, to evict the fear that holds you hostage, that puts you in paralyzation. Launch the vision. Launch the product. Build your dream. Manifest the very thing that you can't feel tangibly, but you can see it in vision, to put your faith in action, to put that risk at play, because that's all faith is taking a risk. You will never know until you do it. You will never know until you launch it. You will never know until you believe in yourself. You will never know that you will take faith the size of a mustard seed, that you can move the mountain of fear out your life, so you can believe in yourself, so you can plant the seed, so you can create the product, so you can build the dream. Without a vision, our people perish. For a lack of knowledge, we perish. Begin to allow application to happen in your life so that you can do the very thing that you see in seed form. The very idea that you had, that you written down, but you sat on it so long. Now it's time to not sit on it any longer. Now it's time to believe in yourself. Make it happen. Understand that all things work together for the good of those that love the Lord, that call according to his purpose. Understand the power of seeking thee first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and everything else will be added into your life. Everything means everything. Use your faith to evict the fear. Use your faith and speak and decree a thing over the idea and the products that God is showing you. The vision, the dream. Build it with your mustard seed faith. Activate it. Plant the very seeds. Water them. Feed them. So you'll be able to have a great harvest. Believe in yourself. Use your mustard seed faith to evict the fear so you can move forward in the very vision, dreams, and goals, the very dreams and goals and ideas that God has given you. Please don't sit on them any longer. Believe in yourself. Let mustard seed faith work on your behalf. Love yourself and go be great.